3,000. 3,000. The gentleman on this table, like 3,500? No? 3,000 then. Table in the center of the room, $3,000. $3,000 worth more than this. 3,000. Anybody want another 500? 3,000. Don't be nervous. You'll all have wonderful vision afterwards. 3,000 with the lady then, at 3,000 in the middle of the room. Are we all done? Was that a bid, or are you waving at me, sir? He's waving at me. He's terrified. Don't be terrified. I'm not scary, really. 3,000. Still with you then, madam. We all done at $3,000. That's a real bargain. At $3,000, we want to give as much as we can to Karen's legacy fund here. $3,000 I have. 3,000. Looking for some more. Any further advance on 3,000? If not, then I'll sell it for $3,000. Last chance at $3,000. Yours. Thank you very much indeed. Item 5, this is another fun one. You attend a live taping of either the Rick Mercer Report or George Strombolopolis tonight. Kindly donated by the CBC. This is for 4 people. 4 people, so you and 3 guests, 3 friends. And in addition to the taping, you will also receive a personally guided tour of the CBC studios. Again, difficult to put a price on this. I don't know, who wants $200 to start? $200 for 4 people. $200? Anybody? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for waving your napkin at me. $200 I have. 200. 250? Thank you, Paul. 250 here up front. 250. We take 3, sir? 3 over there in the middle. 3. 350? Thank you so much. Were you bidding as well, or is that same table? It's her, is it? It's her? 350. 350. Okay. 350 up here. Thank you. 4, sir? 400 now. 400. 450? 450. Thank you. 500. 550. 550. Don't worry about who it is. 550. You can argue about it later. What was I? Now I forgot where I was. 550, wasn't it? 550, yes. 6? No? 550 then. $550 on my far right. 600. Thank you. Sorry, difficult to see you in there. 600. Thank you so much. 600. 650 up front. 650 near me on my right. 650. You take 7 at the back of the room. 650 over here. $650 against you all then at $650 on my far right. Ladies' bid at $650, going once, twice. Yours, madam, $650. Thank you. Enjoy it. Lot number 6. This is another 2 bottles of wine, kindly donated by Elliot Eisen. These are both Smith Haute Lafite Bordeaux from the Pessac-Léognan region in the heart of Bordeaux. And Smith Haute Lafite is ranked among the premier cru for red wine. Both bottles are perfect for drinking and comparison. You've got a bottle of 1995 vintage and a bottle of 1998 vintage. Wonderful opportunity, again, to have a really nice dinner with an intimate group of friends and try these bottles out and enjoy them. Total appraised value around $400. What should we say? $200 to start this, someone. $200. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. 200 I have. 200. 250 over here now. 250. Will you take it to 3, sir? 3? 300. Yes, 300. 350 in the center of the room. 354. 400. Doesn't matter who it is. You don't know him. 350. 400. 400. 450 now. 450. 450. 450 in the center of the room. Will you take 5? Why not? Give him a kiss. It might help. 500. 550. 550. It's a very sought-after wine. $550. Against you now. Take 6. No? $550 in the center of the room then. Still with you, sir. $550. It's against all of you then. at $550. Last chance if you want to come back in. No? $550 with you then. Thank you. Yours, sir, $550. Well done. Congratulations. Lot number 7 is the Charlie Pachter print, showing here on my left. This is kindly donated by the artist, who many of you know, one of Canada's leading artists. It's entitled Tour de Force. It's a serigraph, which is a type of print. It's 1986. It's a limited edition. It's number 87 out of an edition of 100. And the image size is 30 by 20 inches. But as you can see, it's been very beautifully framed, so it's ready to hang. All you've got to do is take it away and put it on your wall. Retail value is around $1,800. I'd like to start it at, let's say, $500. Anybody want $500? $500. Thank you, madam. $500. Bidder on my left, far left. $500. $550. Thank you. $550. $550 over here. You take 6. $600 now. $600. $650. $650 over here. $650. You're not going to let her have it, are you, at that? $650 over here. Bidding? $650. $700 now. $700. New bidder. All ladies. $700. $750. It's a bargain at $750. $750. $750. $750. Like 8. $750 over here then. Young ladies bid at $750. Do you like to come in on the table over here? Table 7? $750. No, $750. Still with you. Still your bid at $750. It's a bargain at $750. Any further advance on $750? Do either of you two want to come back in again? $750 then. We all done at $750. It's worth more than this. $750. All right, I'll sell it for $750. Going once, twice. Yours. Congratulations. And the last lot, ladies and gentlemen, last but certainly not least, this is one you've all been waiting for, so shh. This is a catered dinner with Karen and the other man, plus wines at Karen's house. It's a dinner for 6, so it's you and 4 people, plus Karen and Sid. And it's going to be catered by Daniel et Danielle, the event specialists. A chef will prepare a sumptuous 3-course meal for the 6 people, 4 plus 2, at Karen's home, with a selection of hors d'oeuvres to begin the evening. Menu options will be tailored by one of Daniel et Danielle's talented event consultants. And it will include wine from the Reef Winery, kindly donated by Ruth Abramson. The Reef Estate, as some of you may know, produces world-renowned wines under the supervision of their winemaker, Roberto Di Domenico. Again, the certificate is probably worth around $500 from the caterers, and the wine at least $150 worth. So who's going to start me at this? Let's say $500 to start. $500. Thank you. 2 bidders. $500 here. $550 with you, sir. $550. $600. $600. $600 over here. $650 now. $650. $700. Ladies bid. $700. $700. Over here it's $700. You take $750, sir? $750. Yes, he will. $750. $800 now. $800. Ladies bid in the center. $800. $800. $850. $850. It's against you, madam. It's $850. $900 now. Ladies bid at $900. $900. $950. He's still in. $950. Take it to $1,000, madam. $1,000. Thank you. $1,000. Take it to $1,100, sir. $1,000 then. $1,000. Back of the room. It's against all of you. Very quiet here. $1,000 at the back of the room. Any action over here? No? $1,000 then at the back of the room. Are we all done? Wonderful opportunity to have lunch with this amazing lady and Sydney. $1,000 then. All done. $1,000. Yours, madam. Congratulations. Well, that concludes the auction, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being such a generous audience. I know the Legacy Fund is going to have benefited from your generosity, so enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you for allowing me to take the auction tonight.
Whoa, it's tall. I now call upon my sister, Ann Golden, to come up, and Ann and I are going to pay homage to Karen. Ready?
Hi. As Eddie said, everybody here thinks they know the real Karen Goldenberg. But what do they really know? Well, you've already heard. She's a nice Jewish girl from a wonderful family, that she's smart, high-achieving, warm, funny, generous, affectionate, a great mother and a homemaker and a fabulous friend, that she's creative and innovative and full of non-stop energy. Yeah. She's all those things. But there's so much more, as Eddie said. You know, great minds think alike, I think, Barbie. Yes, they do. It's the risk of going last. Karen has had adventures that nobody here has ever heard about. How do we know? Because we were with her. And we have never shared these stories until now.
Of course, Karen is an amazing multitasker. Everybody says that. But you'll think, how could she possibly have been busier and have done more things than the things we already know about? It's very simple. She did all the things you are about to hear during the times she was being a perfect wife to Sidney, but he did not require her full attention at the time.
For example, once while Sid was flossing his teeth, Karen and Barbie and I worked for the Sûreté de Québec as undercover agents. We posed as Hell's Angels moles. Barbie wrote their T-shirt slogans like, "I'm the dude your mom warned you about." I provided them with data and graphs forecasting optimal sectors for crime infiltration. And Karen did physiotherapy for them when they were recuperating from gunshot wounds. And then she made them chicken soup. No, it's mine. Oh, yeah. Another time in 2002, when Sid was having a telephone conversation, I think he was busy on the phone, Karen, Barbie, and I volunteered to be members of the Pope's entourage on his visit to Strawberry Island in Lake Simcoe. Do you remember that when he came? Barbie translated the daily newspaper's op-eds into Latin for His Holiness. I reminisced with His Holiness about our common ancestry in Poland, which our grandparents luckily left before the war, although I didn't mention it to His Holiness because I didn't want to upset him. Karen baked His Holiness fresh challah bread in the shape of a blackberry, and then she made him chicken soup. We did lots of other things together, mostly while Sid was alphabetizing his books. I think that's what... Yeah.
Some of the things that we did, for a while, we were Charlie's Angels.
And then we went to Prince Edward Island, we wore braids, and we enjoyed brief notoriety as Anne, Barbie, and Karen of Green Gables.
By that time, I think Sid was up to the letter J.
Yes.
Then we formed a rock group and made a triumphant tour of Labrador. You know the singing group ABBA? We were Ima.
Then we invented a software system called Jugal. Jugal. Like Google, but Jugal, right? I just want to make sure they're listening. It was a search engine that whenever you visit a shameful website, it had a window pop up saying, "Does your mother know you're looking at this schmutz?" No, the truth is it wasn't very successful.
By now, Sydney was at the letter P. Then we started a dating service for people in the FBI's Witness Protection Program. I know Eddie mentioned that already.
They find it hard to meet people.
Yeah.
Then we handled complaints from prisoners at Florida's Coleman Prison who didn't understand Conrad Black's vocabulary.
But I think the project we're most proud of is the online boutique that we started for ethical pashminas. Now, by this time, Sydney had reached the letter Z, but Karen still was able to manage the site whenever Sid cleaned his glasses.
Perhaps the most... Oh, no, this is you.
Oh, this is me. Yes. Probably the most fun we ever had was during a period when Sid was mulling over an idea.
I believe, if I can just interject, I believe the idea he had was to apply the logic of Spinoza to the vegan diet.
Yes.
Yes.
The link between Spinoza and high glycemia is very little understood. We used that time to produce and star in our own TV show. It was an advice program that briefly replaced the Jewish Hour. People called in with their personal issues, and we gave them 3 different perspectives. The show was called, Oi, you think you have problems? It was great. We still have the transcript. Once, for example, a woman called and said she didn't know what to do about her daughter. The daughter had converted to Islam and decided to wear a niqab. The caller said this really bothered her and asked, am I wrong to be having bad feelings about my own flesh and blood?
I told her, you know, in our diverse, multicultural society, the challenge is to find the right balance between individual rights and civic harmony. Studies do show that children outgrow extreme behaviors. On the other hand, your peace of mind is important too. You have rights too. I suggest you seek joint therapy.
I told her, you're not wrong. Your daughter is an idiot. Tell your daughter that in a free society, people don't cover their faces. Then throw her out and cut her out of your will.
Karen told her, Oi tetala zisala bubala. I feel your pain. Make some chicken soup. Invite her over. She'll have to take off the niqab to eat it. You'll hug her. So, is that suggest she wear a beautiful hijab instead. I'll make you one. It's no trouble. Oh, hello.
Is that the phone?
Is that the phone? Everything is timing. Hello, who? Sorry, she's a little busy right now. She's the guest of honor at a big dinner. Well, I know that's never stopped her before, but she's retired now, so she doesn't have to take every call that comes in. She'll take yours. Why? Oh, Karen, you better take this. It's your BlackBerry calling, and it says you may be retiring, but it isn't. Thank you.
I have to stay here. Okay. Oh, wait, Ed. We didn't have a lot of time to write this script. I'm now calling upon Ruth Abramson, Chair of the Board of Governors of JVS, who will be making a presentation to Karen on their behalf. There you are, okay.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Anne. That was fabulous. And thank you also to the tremendous, creative, dedicated, and extremely hardworking event committee, whose names you saw in the invitation that went out and who were thanked individually earlier on this evening. You've created a wonderful celebration for a very special person, our own Karen Goldenberg. But as I call Karen up to say a few words, I'd like to present a gift on behalf of all your friends on the committee and at JVS, And this is a specially commissioned portrait by Charlie Pachter. So if you'd like to come up. Here it is.
How wonderful is that?
Oh my God. I'll put it down here. And over to you.
What a wonderful evening, and what a wonderful gift. I've done commerce with a lot of people, but not often a moose. So thank you, Charlie, who I'll get back to later on. What a magnificent night. I feel like this is my bat mitzvah, but other people paid for it, you know. It's really fantastic. And I'm really very moved. My cup runneth over to have so many people that mean so much to me here celebrating with me this evening. Lots has been said, and I'm going to be brief, but I don't know if you remember, but the invitation said, "Time well spent." And I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful theme for the evening, and in fact, for my life at JVS Toronto. I've had a wonderful and gratifying career, culminating in the 12 years at the helm of JVS Toronto, and what a fabulous ride it's been. In many ways, a career at JVS was my destiny. You see, bringing people and work together has been my life's work in one way or another. Helping people connect has been my passion, and many of you here have enriched my life by being part of my network. As you entered my life, I was often privileged to meet with many of your kids, your neighbors, your friends, to help guide them in their careers. And this started well before my work at JVS. And it was through this kind of sharing and intimacy that my bond with each and every one of you has been strengthened. And so I really feel blessed to have you here, so many of you here, people who I've shared so much with. So I thank you very much. I'm going to take you down a mini ride of my career, and I'm going to be brief because so many people have touched on it in a rather colorful way and apocryphal way, I must say. But let's start with the creation of COTA, Community Occupational Therapy Associates, and there are a number of wonderful occupational therapists here who are very special, longtime friends and people who I've met as part of that journey when we created that phenomenal program. Being an occupational therapist was a gift that shaped me, and COTA gave me the opportunity to spread my wings. And many of you here, as I said, are here because of that connection. Time well spent. My time in the private sector at Dynacare taught me a lot about health as a business and the business of health. And it was a challenge every single day. For those of you who knew the principles of that company, you can understand why. It was a very different culture and a family business to boot. It was heady, with seasoned business leaders and lightning speed. I learned about aged receivables, financing in real time, and how to cut some corners when you needed to. Culture shock indeed. You see, I was needs-driven and not market-driven, and this was not a fit for this engagement. One of my favorite colleagues once said at a board table when asked about my opinion, "Sure, ask Karen, and we'll all be not-for-profit." This was an experience that certainly broadened my horizon, and I made new friends, some of whom were here tonight, and I learned a lot. It was time well spent. The Addiction Research Foundation, now called CAMH, was my next stop, and this provincial portfolio gave me the opportunity to learn about managing from a distance. 29 offices across the province, international work, research, policy, advocacy, and knowledge transfer. Wow. Brilliant people doing important work. Time well spent. One of my most exciting times in my career was as special advisor to the Minister of Health in the 1990s when I guided Bill 173, the Long-Term Care Act, through legislation and into royal assent, regularly briefing the Premier Bob Bray, the Minister of Health, senior bureaucrats, and others. Here I traveled across the province selling the concept and working with the Ontario Hospital Association, the OMA, the VON, the United Way, hospitals, public health departments, and others. I was so exhausted that they got me a driver. As, and you've heard this before, I was a menace on the road. Some of you think I still need it. Time well spent. My next gig was immersion in the work of early childhood development and the importance of the early years. I took a special assignment for United Way Canada, facilitated my very own Anne Golden, who was then CEO of United Way, and conducted research, traveled across Canada, meeting with hundreds of people in 17 different cities, learning about the needs. And I really did learn how distinct each community is, and although there are some core things and issues that affect us, each community adapts and adopts in their own way. And it was a really important part of my learning to listen. Some people think I haven't done it very well, but I enjoyed it tremendously. And it led to my next challenge at the Invest in Kids Foundation, where I continued my passion for investing in young children, and I honed my marketing, fundraising, and government relations skills. Lots of lessons learned, and mostly time well spent. All of this combined with the privilege of serving on so many boards and advisory councils, and I was a very happy camper. I always felt that I got more than I gave, and volunteerism has always been an important and central part of my life. I like to make things happen, so startups have always been something that excite me, and I was really privileged to be involved in the creation of not just COTA, but the Canadian Occupational Therapy Foundation, 2 schools for children with autism spectrum disorder, and a number of small community agencies. These were very, very proud moments in my life, and again, I got so much more than I gave. The gift of serving at the District Health Council, now called the LINS, they morphed, and the time at United Way taught me much. At United Way, I learned about community and social service agencies, and I came to appreciate the contribution of many big and small organizations that make us a civilized society. Perhaps this was my best training for JVS Toronto. Time well spent. And now, JVS, my foray into the Jewish communal network and the reason for my going there. Along with an inspired board, and you've heard about many of them, and great leaders and fantastic staff, we grew this agency over threefold, developed new programs, and became significant players in the world of workforce development. We put the show on the road, taking people to communities with our JVS on the Move strategy. We were international with Canada InfoNet, and I was very, very proud of our dynamic cross-cultural initiatives. We joined IAJVS, the International Association, where we shared best practices experiences with other agencies in North America and Israel. Here I formed many friendships, none more special than Jeannie Cohn, president of IAJVS, and Jay Spector, the CEO of Philadelphia Jebs. They are here to celebrate with me tonight, and I'm delighted that these newlyweds are here. They snuck away to Italy, and after 16 years of courtship, they actually tied the knot. Thank you for being here. Time well spent. But